Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to another exciting edition of the Superchain Demo Day. Today we have three great presenters. I am your host, Jay Rocky. We do this every 2 weeks. So each presenter will give their demo for about 10 minutes or so, and then we are live streaming on Lonely, YouTube, and Twitter. And so you can drop questions in any one of those platforms, and we'll be reading them, and then we'll give each presenter about 5 minutes to answer any community questions that you guys have. All right, so without further ado, I will take it over to my DeFi.
Hi there. We're ready to present Straddle, and GR, you're able to go ahead and talk about the first few slides here? Great.
Sure.
Awesome. Welcome, Troy.
We're excited to be here. Thanks, everyone. So we're introducing Straddle, which is a bridge service provider. So if you flick to the next slide, we're basically going to try and meme our way through this. So we're going to do a how, what, why Straddle is. But let's introduce ourselves. So next slide. So I'm GR. I usually hang out in a Cross Discord. I'm a dev support over there, part of the Relay network and across. And yeah, in my real life, I'm doing a lot of consulting and payment specialist. And my DeFi, do you want to give a quick intro?
Yeah, sure. I'm also a very active across protocol community member. I'm part of their community essentials committee, and I also do some relaying as well. So I'm very involved in that community. And then outside of that, I work a lot in e-commerce and do a lot of software and web development.
Yeah, and we also want to give a quick shout out to Infinity. I don't know if he's in the audience, but he's our front-end dev who's been working super hard on this over the last few weeks. So yeah, like this is the team, and we want to talk about Straddle and what this is. So basically, everyone's pretty familiar with bridging, right? And we're basically trying to solve two problems: solving for a better UX for users, and also making app developers an easier path to integrate cross-chain interop. So those are our two key messages and the goals we're trying to solve. And we do this by building out a bridging interface, managing the cost of bridging, and also the execution. We do that with being a part of the Relay network. So we fill the transactions as well as getting you into the bridge. I think we go to the next slide. Yeah, so the benefits of this is really that for users, you get really, really fast bridging. We offer the lowest fees you can probably get and best execution. So if you're trying to do some cross-chain interop, you want it to be really responsive, so you get a good UX. And that's also the same for app developers. We're building out an API that makes it extremely simple to integrate for an app developer. And that's all powered by Across Plus and their interface for cross-chain solutions. So I guess, yeah, so just kind of dive into that a little bit more, and we're going to hit another meme. Everyone knows what happens when you try and bridge and you pick a random bridge. You generally find you get stuck with your funds getting lost, or you're on a canonical bridge which takes forever to come back to the destination. And yeah, in general, it's just can be painful. So we're trying to fix that. And the way we're doing that is to simplify the architecture. So as I said in the beginning, for dApp developers, you really want something that simplifies the process of connecting to a bridge and removing the complexity. So you don't want to have to integrate a bunch of smart contracts. If you look at how it works with some aggregators, they build out an API, but there's actually a lot of complexity behind the scenes with the way they route transactions through. And it's also a problem for users. Like, you're not sure what's actually going to be interacting with your wallet once you approve these contracts. So in essence, we want to try and de-risk that whole complexity and make it simpler for users to and developers to bridge. If we move over to the next slide, MyDeFi, you can probably walk us through a little bit about the flow here, but essentially, if you look at the way this works, bridging through this design follows an intent-based model. So you can see what happens when somebody interacts with a DeFi app. They generally go into a contract like a swap or something. It would then in turn call a deposit into the spoke pool. And behind the scenes, we have relayers which will pick up the transactions on the origin and then fill them on the destination. So in terms of an interop flow, you can see here, if you have a bridge with a message, how it gets executed on the destination chain. I don't know if you want to add some more detail there, MyDeFi.
Yeah, and just to put it in some real world terms, basically, like if the call data or the message data that goes into the DeFi contract, that goes into the spoke pool could be essentially anything that executes on the other side, and that could be a token swap, that could be like, for example, bridging and then depositing directly into Aave, or say getting an NFT on the other side. So basically what happens is the messaging goes into the spoke pool, and then the relayer takes the deposited funds and then bridges it back over to whatever the smart contract is that is supposed to receive that message. And the across spoke pool will then execute what needs to be executed using that message data. So for example, if you went with a token swap on the destination chain, that would all happen here in that event. And then the user gets what it is that they were expecting.
Yeah. So I think we can.
And that's all in one transaction?
Yes.
It can be in one transaction. Yes, it can all be in one transaction on the destination chain.
Yeah, so if we push through to the demo, I don't know if you can flick one slide forward and then switch to the app. While you're getting that up, what you just asked there is pretty much something you can see if you look at the demo, integration demo. I don't know if you can easily get that link. I can put it in the chat. So
are you guys able to see my screen still with the bridging window? Okay, great. Yeah, so while he talks, I'll go ahead and set something up here.
Yeah, so if there are any app developers out there that are interested in understanding a bit more how that cross-chain interop looks, you can try out this, and I'll probably paste it in the Discord over here. I don't know if that can be shared anywhere else.
Yeah, you can put it in the private chat, and then we can share it with everybody listening.
Yeah. Let me see if my DeFi is able to do that.
Yeah.
So I'm on my mobile.
Yeah, I can drop that in the chat. But while he's talking, I can show you sort of what we're doing here. So basically, pretty simple, straightforward bridging interface, right? So the idea is here I'm bridging from 5 USDC from Arbitrum to Optimism, but on the destination on Optimism, I'm going to receive DAI. So I'm going to go ahead and accept that quote. Looks like only pay something like 8 to 10 cents or 8 to 18 cents. And then once I bridge, say sign create. So hopefully this only takes 5 to 10 seconds, and then I should have my funds on the other side. All right, so looks like that went through. I'm going to go over to transactions to check on it so we can see what happened here in this particular case. Oh, that's the wrong one. you can see what happened here basically. So so as a user, I deposited on Arbitrum, with the idea of going to Optimism or Base. This is a previous transaction, but I did the same thing in the test earlier. So what happens is the funds get relayed by the relayer in USDC, which is what I bridged. So I bridged 5 USDC, but because I chose to have DAI on the other side, basically the contract call made a swap through the 1-inch aggregation router, and it gave me $4.94 worth of DAI on the destination, and that went back to the user that made the request.
Yeah, and so similar type of experience you'd get from the demo app. I don't know if you can just quickly show that on the screen, Mighty, if I shared the link to you.
This one here.
Yeah, there you go. So as an app developer, you may want this to be like seamlessly done within your app. And so this gives you an example. What you would have here is you call through in the back end of your app to our API to get all of this data we said. That's really simple to integrate. So you don't have to deep dive into the weeds on like how contracts and the bridge works. It's kind of all just a managed flow. But here, if you then, as a user, use this app, you will get that same bridging experience with the interaction on your specific app. So in this case, depositing into your vault, it would go ahead and do that once you click the button and try to bridge.
Right. So essentially, this will take 5 USDC from Arbitrum, deposit it into Aave on Optimism, and then in one transaction, what happens is you'll see the 5 USDC essentially go straight into Aave, and the user can then pull up their Aave dashboard and see that they have $5 deposited into the supply side.
This is very cool. Awesome. Yeah, this is very cool. I have a question. So it's like, I imagine as you guys were explaining, the real magic here is having other protocols integrate this. So it's like, okay, you can bridge and then also directly make a deposit into Aave or do something on Velodrome or whatever other protocol. And so then my question becomes, can developers like right now go and integrate this by themselves? Would they need your help? Would they need to reach out to you? Like, how does that process work? How do you kind of build out these integrations?
Yeah, so the way it works today, you could just integrate and get bridging in out of the box straight away. But what we'd like to do is help developers build out some of their use cases. So helping them build the bridge for their particular app situation, right? But yeah, essentially they will just call into our API and it will just construct the data they need. So they probably need to work with us a little bit to understand how to construct the call data for their own contracts. But it will be much, much simpler than what they'd normally go through in doing this by themselves. And the benefit for users as well is that they get less interactions, right? You don't have to go and approve each contract on the destination chain. You don't need to go and get gas. All of this is happening from your origin network as a user. So those are the like 2 key benefits that we think are really useful. I know we're approaching time, so maybe we just quickly hit the last slide I think we're on.
Oh yes, sorry, I stopped sharing my screen for a second. Sorry.
Yeah, so I think we're just kind of super excited to like get involved with users and app developers who want a better cross-chain experience and want more interop. Then yeah, reach out to us and we can certainly help you get the ball rolling really quickly. So with this app, we're going to be adding more networks. All the super chains, everyone comes on board, we'll be there. We have some really interesting stuff on the table, but we're probably out of time going through the rest of that in any more detail. But yeah, there's some exciting stuff coming along. So yeah, I think we'll probably wrap there.
That is awesome. I'm definitely excited for functionality like this. The other day I was trying to make kind of a tutorial video and I was moving from one chain to another, and it's like, okay, yeah, you have to bridge and then you have to actually do the action or a couple of actions on the other chain. So it would be nice just to go to one interface and do one transaction and be done. So I can appreciate that. All right, awesome. So speaking of if developers or any users want to reach out to you, where's the best place to do that? You can drop it in the chat, and then we can drop that in this Twitter thread that we're live streaming from.
Yeah, we can. I mean, maybe the best place to find us is in the Across Discord. It's like probably the least scammy way to get in touch with us.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, I think my DeFi's Twitter's out there, or you can message us through the Straddle chat integration, which should be live, so you can reach us there. Or yeah, generally Discord is the best place, but yeah, we can get you anywhere.
Yeah, we're pretty active in that Across Protocol Discord, so it would be pretty easy to reach us from there. And both of us are very active in Discord just on a regular basis.
Awesome. All right. Thank you guys so much for presenting. Much appreciated. We will bring up our next presenter now, Reclaim Protocol. So let me bring up Roman here. Hey, what's up, Roman? How goes it?
All good, all good. Should we start?
Let's kick it off.
Okay, so let me tell you first about Reclaim. So in a few words, it's Oracle for any Web2 data, permissionless. We don't use APIs, we use TLS protocol to fetch certain pieces of data. Imagine, having access to everything from your number of Uber rides to the banking balance. Any data you see on the screen, you can turn it to ZK proof. Going into a little more detail, we're creating a ZK TLS self-governance platform to allow users and dApps and companies to transact data easier and make it more transparent and manageable. So let me show you the demo. We're in early alpha stage right now, but everything is working. I pre-recorded a small demo beforehand because it involves using the mobile phone. So just to make it a little smoother. Yeah, so yeah, it should be visible now. It's a demo stand. So since we're an ecosystem, you can choose one of many chains you can publish credentials on. In this case, we're obviously using Optimism, but we have secret network, for instance. Yeah, so choosing Optimism, then you have a chance to choose the attester if it's an option, or you can create your own attesters, sort of. And then you have a list of all the proofs you can create. They're easily made on the self-service platform. We will look at it a little bit later, but let's say I want to prove my SIM ID. So this data is not available through the standard API, I believe. We're not using any app. So let me stop here and explain what's going on. So if you're on desktop, the flow generates a QR code. You scan it with your phone. It's a requirement for the tech we use. And this link opens an instant app for Android. And yeah, I don't recall the name for iOS, but it does the same. So you're not actually downloading the application. You're downloading this small bit of like 1 or 2 megabytes with this specific proof. In this case, it's SIM ID. So it will show you what data exactly you're going to share. Then we're using this internal browser as a like proxying device. So, but not seeing anything happening on the user end of things. So you're logging in. Steam requires, it's just like a normal website Steam login flow. It requires the two-factor authentication with email code. I'm currently fetching the code from the email. So, and as soon as we're logged in, it fetches the ID itself. So because we pre-built this provider, we know exactly where this ID is placed. it's checked on the internal witness, external witness. Right now it's centralized. It's going to be decentralized till the end of the year probably. Then we use the phone processor to create the proof. So here you have it. You submit it. It's sent to a dApp or a provider or to a specific DID keep, like a wallet or something. Then you can connect your wallet and publish it on chain as a as an open credential or as an encrypted one. Yeah, so I'll show that like here. I'll connect my wallet and you'll see that it's easily. I don't think I have a balance here. Let's check it. So switching to Optimism, basically creating the ID. So obviously not the the best scenario to publish your very sensitive data on chain, but this tech and our integration allows dApps from the Optimism ecosystem to create sort of on-chain encrypted DID vaults, let's say it like that. So here's the practical part. Let me here. I'll show you the self-served platform to create those. So since we don't require APIs, we require developers to pre-build this provider. So you should have access to the portal you want to fetch data from, and you need to understand what data exactly you want to take from there. Is my screen visible right now?
Yep, still visible.
Yeah, okay. It should show, sorry. Yeah, okay. You see the create your own portal provider, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's basically a marketplace of proofs you can create. We have over 440 right now. A lot of them are for test reasons. So you can see there are proofs for Discord, for Aadhaar, which is Indian digital ID. It can be created into ZK proof, basically proving, let's say, your age of birth without disclosing any other parts of your private identity. You have your number of Amazon orders. You have a lot of stuff, actually, number of Uber rides, as I mentioned, volumes, Binance transaction history, booking history. So that's opens a lot of possibilities. We're building not the product itself, but the platform for other builders to create on top of it. So you can imagine like one of the use cases I wanted to show you as well. You should see a Figma mockup, right? Is it visible?
Yes, I see a cell phone.
Yeah, okay. So imagine, you are logging in for the first time in some specific e-com store, just like a normal Web2 e-shopping experience. In this case, it's a drugstore online or in India. So you see a banner like get a 300 rupee coupon. Let's see conditions, and you see that basically you can connect data from competing pharmacies. So it's sort of a vampire attack for Web2 style of scenario here. You sharing your orders for the last 6 months with, if you have like at least two with a certain, volume in it, and Flipkart will be able to see what happens, like your, purchasing history with competitors. It will know exactly what goods you're buying when you're buying them. They will see timestamps and values. They will be able to compare their merchandising with competitors, and they will be able to check if you're an authentic user, right? Because showing that you have a previous transactional history with your competitors proves that you are active real user without the platform having to wait for at least like half a year or a few months to get those results. So yeah, that's a quick demo. It's a big complex product, but since we're limited in time, I would encourage everyone just to check it for yourself. Everything is working. You can go to dev.com/reclaimprotocol.org. I'll share the link later, or join our chat and just play around with it. We have plenty of proofs stable and available for testing, and a dev, self-service platform to create your own proofs in under 30 minutes. We will be, very happy to support devs building on Optimism to use Reclaim for Sybil protection, for ZK logins, for reputation transfers, and generally connecting user data from Web 2 to Web 3. That's it.
That makes sense. So that I understand, make sure that I understand. So you guys are the infrastructure that other applications, user-facing applications, can plug into and say the application is asking the user for certain data. You guys will take that data, store it securely on chain. But then my question, I guess, becomes
a small addition to that. Like, first of all, the data is stored on the user device. That's why we're using phone. So it's encrypted, it's stored on the user device, and user explicitly, allows to share this data. You saw the publish, button. That means this data is sent to a partner dev to whom requested this data from him. But other than that, it's stored on the phone.
That's very cool. I think that Web 2 data will be very valuable for Web 3 applications to use, just like Web 2 applications do right now. And so I'm curious, just in your thoughts, like from a user perspective, what are some of the reasons why I would actually want to go and share my data with some Web3 application or DeFi app? Just like kind of speculation. What are the use cases? What are some apps that I want to plug into you guys?
Yeah, from top of the head, the easiest, the broadest case here is just sort of sharing it for rewards. So since Web2, many companies try to personally monetize user data. So right now, you're selling your data by using Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, right? They are basically monetizing based on your preferences. They know whatever they want to know about you based on your actions. Our tooling allows you to govern this data. So you probably know about how strict GDPR in Europe is, or California Digital Act for big companies, that basically they forced bank companies to allow you to export your data, right? You can basically ask Facebook to send the whole archive of your data, all your messages, like timestamps, postings, in this giant, enormous TXT file. And formally, they're allowing you to extract this data, but practically it's basically unusable. What you're gonna do with this, enormous TXT, which weighs like half a gigabyte with all your history? With our tool, you can extract the data you want. You can keep it wherever you want on your device, or in a certain DID partners we have integrated, let's say with the Privado team, who are building this DID ecosystem, to keeping those credentials on chain, off chain, whenever you will. So basically changing those for rewards. Let's say Sybil resistance, I see, would be the biggest case here, because we see the meta changing. On chain is not enough. The style of airdrops is changing. So chains are actively playing with Sybil resistance right now, and we believe this technology, which allows you to very privately and securely disclose part of your identity. Let's say that you are older than 18, not disclosing your real age, or disclosing that you are not from United States, because you connected your governmental portal, and that's enough for the company to know that you're outside of the restricted geography, right, to provide you with an airdrop. Or let's say you're gonna connect a dozen of your personal services like Uber, Gmail, Spotify, Amazon, and show that you're a real user with real spendings, pulling values from spendings in one total score, that you spent more than $5,000 in the last half a year, showing most likely this identity is real, because it would be incredibly expensive for a network of bots, Sybils, to spend 5K on each account just to get an airdrop. So that's basically the basic use cases we see for for people to share their data. ZK logins are a huge case as well, more of a infrastructural one. So let's say you can connect your accounts which are not normally used for logins, like OAuth, like you can do with Google or GitHub or anything else, you can now do with any service, or it can be buried behind some level of credentials. So let's say it can allow you to log in only if you have more than 500K trading volume on Binance last year or something like that.
Very cool. Very good presentation. By the way, a very nice overview. So if users, builders want to reach out to you, where's the best place to go?
You can reach out personally in Discord. You can reach out to our official Twitter handle, and we have a very lively Telegram group. I encourage everyone to join and just chat with our developers, founders, and the crowd building around it right now. I'll provide the links in a few minutes.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much. Excellent presentation. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Let's bring up our next presenters. Secret Network. And let me make sure I've added everybody here. All right. What's up, Alex? What's up, Shanrad? How's it going?
Hi. Good.
Hi, everybody.
Yep.
Thanks for having us.
Of course. All right. Take it away.
Awesome. Are you able to see our slides?
Yes. Perfect.
Alex, do you want to introduce yourself first?
Yes. I'm Alex. I'm responsible for developer relations at the Secret Network Foundation. I know you, Sean.
Yes, my name is Sean Conrad. I also do developer relations for the Secret Network Foundation. And we are really excited today to be demoing Secret Path for the Superchain. So just a little background on Secret Network for anyone who might be unfamiliar. Secret Network is a confidential computing hub for Web3 built with Cosmos SDK. So we use TEEs, trusted execution environments, to compute over encrypted data. And you can sort of just think of Secret Network as a confidential computation layer. So any sort of dApps you need to build that need privacy preserving smart contracts, you can use Secret Network to do that for your application. And historically, we've been the privacy chain of the Cosmos, but now with recent innovations using elliptic curve cryptography, we've built this solution called Secret Path, which is now connected to the interchain. And so what we're excited to demo today is how to use Secret Path to bring privacy preserving contracts to your applications on Optimism and any of these Superchain connected ecosystems. And I will let Alex kind of discuss the architecture, and then we'll just jump into the demos and hopefully open up to questions.
Yeah, so essentially what Secret Path is something that we took over as a community project and then build it out into something that we can use in production. Secret Path is essentially what we call a cross-chain trustless bridging solution, and the idea behind Secret Path is it actually uses our privacy / confidentiality preserving smart contracts to basically build any dApp that we can just connect to EVM. And the kicker behind it is that we basically provide conventional computation to all EVM chains that we have right now. We're also having Solana in the pipeline as well, but our main focus right now is just getting on the major EVMs, especially on Optimism. So the structure of Secret Path is quite big. I will just keep it brief, super short for this presentation since we don't have that much time. The essential part of a Secret Path is actually the part in yellow that you see, which is the master private gateway. The whole idea is it's essentially a smart contract that lives on Secret Network, and it handles the whole communication between the public side, which is on the left, and the private side, which is on the right. And the private master gateway essentially signs messages. So since we have privacy / confidentiality preserving contracts, the contract itself can sign messages, and it contains a private key that no one else can see. So that way we can sign messages that ensure that the message actually came from Secret Network. So, users can bridge in confidential payloads containing their, whatever they want to do, for example, private voting messages or whatever. Sean is going to give you an example of that. And the master private gateway then decrypts these messages confidentially. So you or anyone else cannot actually see what actually happens inside of the contract, not the validators, not everyone else. Only the contract inside of it knows what you actually wanted to execute, and then executes that stuff in a private, in a different contract that you want to do on Secret Network. And that allows you to just basically get the whole range and a lot of the benefits that we have in Secret Network just for the whole EVM. Yeah. And yeah, exactly. So we actually provide two main solutions right now. We actually provide VRF as a standalone solution that just anyone can use and just call our contracts on Secret Network on Optimism. And there's another part, and that's our much bigger suite that Sean did a lot of super amazing work on, is actually a lot of examples that we also prepared for devs to showcase a lot of the use cases that we can use. So for example, you can have any encrypted payload that you can imagine for a lot of examples. For example, encrypted key value store, encrypted voting, and other examples that we also have on our docs. And Secret VRF as a very nice VRF solution that's faster and much cheaper than Chainlink VRF. And we're also offering it to a lot of other chains. So for example, here we have our gateway contracts. So basically you just go to our documentation, plug in and basically find your chain, whatever you have, and you can call a gateway contract that you see at the top and just plug it in and then make use of the whole thing. Exactly. And now we have Sean, who has prepared amazing demos.
We will see if they work.
Showcase now. Yeah. That's also going to be the most interesting part always, the live demoing effect.
Yeah, so as Alex just spoke on, we have these gateway contracts. So these are the public gateway contracts that allow your chain to be interconnected with Secret Network. And so what we've done is we've built out demos showcasing how to use our Secret Path contracts on any EVM chain that we're connected to. So this is just a private voting example. And so, for example, here we have, just like a wallet connect modal. And these are all of the chains that are connected to Secret Network that you can use our privacy preserving contracts for. So what's really amazing is you can connect to any of these chains, pay for any of these, pay for gas and transactions with any of these chains. And then this secret path will then route your transaction to the secret contract that exists on Secret Network to vote privately. So just for example, right now we're connected to Ethereum mainnet, but we want to do this on, I guess, Optimism Sepolia. So I'll switch networks. We can create a proposal to vote on. Is the Superchain the future? And then set an amount of time. So we're creating this. And do you want to explain the signature verification, Alex? That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, quite nicely. So what happens actually is you in the front end encrypt the whole proposal that you're submitting on chain, and you're also signing that payload with your private key. So what happens is basically you have an encrypted and a signed message that just proves that you actually signed that message, and that payload is actually going to get verified inside of the secret contract. So what happens is basically that payload is transmitted trustlessly into Secret Network, and then a smart contract that private gateway that we have will actually verify that this message actually came from your account, and then that way we can track what happened. Yeah.
Yep. And so I just created this proposal for anyone to vote on privately. So if you were to vote on this with your wallet, your vote would remain encrypted, so no one would know that your wallet was actually we wouldn't know what your wallet voted on. And this demo is live, so like anyone can vote on this right now, and then the vote will be revealed in 10 minutes. That's what we suggested for this proposal. But yeah, so that's just a kind of a cool example. You're able to do private voting. We also have other use cases, such as like sealed bid auctions. Another fun one is cross-chain NFTs. So I'll just show this really quickly. Let's see. So this demo is just on Sepolia. The other one I was showing with Wallet Connect, where it's connected to every single chain. So for this example, and all of these examples are in our docs, by the way. So if you're a dev who's like looking, like if you want to make like cross-chain NFTs that have private metadata, this exact tutorial with this full stack demo exists in our docs. Same thing with secret voting, same thing with sealed bid auctions, same thing with VRF. And if you've used Chainlink VRF before, we've written our contracts in a way where it's extremely similar. So it's just kind of like plug and play. You just deploy to your chain of choice, and you can get cross-chain randomness from Secret VRF that's cheaper and faster than Chainlink. But so what's so cool about this, right, is like really all you have to do to be able to use this on whatever your chain is of choice on the Superchain is just routing it to the correct public gateway address. So in this previous demo, the secret voting demo, we showed this with Wallet Connect with all of the chains we're connected to. This is a demo where it's just for Sepolia, but you could deploy this exact same contract, and the only thing you would have to swap out is just, instead of the public gateway address for Sepolia, you would make it for Sepolia Optimism if you wanted to use Sepolia Optimism. So this is kind of fun. This is just like an example where we create an NFT that is deployed to, that is minted on Sepolia. Optimism demo, but it has private NFT metadata that exists and is stored on secret network. So if we wanted to have some public information that exists on a public chain of choice, but we wanted to keep some information private and, you know, keep that inside of a secret network smart contract, this is a demo showing how to do that. And this is kind of fun. We're doing it with OpenAI. So like whatever this NFT description we write is just going to be what this actually is. So let's just call it like Optimism Web3 crypto guy animated. This is just going to make our NFT picture for us. Whatever we want to stay private. The Superchain is the future. And then whatever our password is to reveal the confidential private metadata. I'm making the password. Don't tell anybody. Let's see if this works. All right. This is if anybody wants to buy this NFT for me, we're minting this on chain right now live on the Optimism Superchain Demo Day. Okay, let's see. So
beautiful. I love that. I actually have a question about this kind of use case. So why would you, like, what reason would you have to make the metadata on certain NFTs private? Is this something that you've, like a use case that you've, or a problem to be solved that you heard from other protocols or user feedback? I'm just curious about the reason.
Yeah, Alex, do you want to speak on like Stash and like the Tarantino NFTs or anything like this?
Yeah, definitely. So the idea behind it is we already have these confidential NFTs on Secret Network natively, which means that essentially you can have like some public metadata and some private metadata. And you know what kind of makes it a bit more scarce, I'd say, right? Because if you don't own an NFT, you don't actually know what the private metadata actually are. There could be some special background in a simple use case, or it could even be, and that was like one of the demos that we have with, or one of the stuff that we have with Quentin Tarantino was actually, you can actually reveal an encryption or some hidden content. In that case, maybe it was like for Tarantino, for example, it was a hidden script that just only was accessible for that person who actually bought the NFT. So you can just hide whatever you like. It could be like just confidential content. It could be like some passwords, strings, whatever, or it could even be like some scripts or, you know, music, whatever. So like the possibilities to store whatever you like there are endless. It doesn't even need to be like specifically like an image. Could even be like whatever, right? Could even be confidential, other confidential contents that you would like. It's that we even thought about possible RWA use cases in this, which right now we're just, you know, demoing, but we're also thinking about this direction as well.
Or that Wu-Tang Clan album.
Pretty much,
With
yes.
audio private.
Exactly. This is exactly one of the perfect. Yeah, that would exactly be kind of this use cases if it, but you shouldn't leak, of course. But yeah, yeah,
exactly.
Perfect idea. Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, and if for anyone who's watching that wants to learn how to implement this into their Superchain dApps, you can just go to our EVM Developer Toolkit. So if you just go to Secret Network Docs, we have this section EVM Developer Toolkit. And we have all these demos right here. We also show, we have a Wallet Connect demo as well. So like if you want to do exactly what I did, where I create that Wallet Connect modal and have all those chains connected right out of the box. We also have documentation on that. And if you have any questions about any of this, you can message Alex or I on Telegram or Discord. We're super active like on the Discord, Telegram, or Discord channel for Secret Network. And my handle on Telegram and Discord is just @SeanRad if anyone has developer questions.
Awesome. Did you have, I kind of interrupted your question. I didn't know if you had another slide or something else you wanted to reveal.
I know, I think those are the main things. I just think it's what's really been exciting about building this out is like I started my developer experience in EVM, solely EVM, and then found my way to the Cosmos as I started to learn more about like what the options were with privacy preserving smart contracts and blockchain. And so I found my way to Secret, learned Rust, and I think that was like a little, like I think like a year and a half ago, and the idea that we would be able to have these interchain ecosystems, to have like a true super chain where we're connecting, all these EVM chains, we're connecting the Cosmos, everything is just getting more seamlessly integrated. So, and it's just really cool to see. And thanks for having us to be able to demo this. It's exciting just to be a part of this.
I love that, and welcome to the Superchain as well. Excellent presentation, great overview, and you guys already answered the question. Where's the best place to reach out to you? So if any devs or users want to reach out to them, please do. All right, everybody, that ends Superchain Demo Day. We do this Superchain Demo Day every 2 weeks, so be sure to join us in 2 weeks for another edition. All right, everybody, thank you.
Thanks so much.